Hey folks, welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. So, not a major theme to this one, just some pretty cool stuff and a few distinctions here and there in terms of bugs and birds and whatnot, but nothing major. And some focus on what I call the Notclouds toward the end of the presentation because there are these things that seem to camouflage themselves or attempt to and just hang out in the clouds, but they're not clouds, and then they move and perform in ways that are clearly not cloud-like. So anyway, we touched on that a bit, but yeah, enjoy. Let us know what you think. Thanks again. Take care.
So, yeah, don't know what that is, and it doesn't have any obvious propulsion mechanism. You see a plane, and then you see that thing, and it's slowed, and now it's not slowed. So, yeah. What's interesting with this, to me, is that, like I said, there's no wings, there's no obvious sign of propulsion, and when you take a screenshot of it, that's what it looks like. And that doesn't help to clarify anything, right? But if you actually look at a bug in the foreground, which is what people think these are, this is what those look like. Yeah, so it's obviously a dragonfly in the foreground. And in every frame, it has an obvious propulsion mechanism, that being its wings. And there's no question about what it is. In every frame, it looks like a dragonfly. Yet you go to something like this, and it's the opposite. Literally, like in every frame, you're saying, how is it flying? And in every frame, you're saying, what is it? I don't think I'm ever going to get tired of these crossing fast flyer things, fast movers. They're just cool, and I don't know why they cross each other. And you'll actually see a third one come from like the 9 o'clock up to the 1 o'clock afterwards and cross over the tail right there. But in real time, they're just so fast. But what are they doing? Like, why are they racing to get to this chopper? So this is going to take a couple steps to get through, but we're starting here because it's clear that this thing is going through that tower. And here it's less slowed, but it's going through the tower, right? And that's important because before it does that, it does this. And it takes this crazy hard turn. And here it is from distance, slowed. But look at the turn. Look at the angle on this. I mean, it's just performance on a different level. And in real time, I mean, come on. That's just crazy fast. And nothing prosaic does that, just like nothing prosaic does this. This is from the last video, and I was saying, like, this is bouncing off an invisible wall of some sort. Same type of thing. These things have nothing to do with Newtonian physics. And same here. And you see one coming across from like the 1 o'clock to the 8 o'clock across the top, and then you have one bouncing off the wire. So it's like, what are we saying here? Like, bugs or birds are bouncing off power lines now? Like, is that what we've come to? I mean, it's just bananas. Okay, and so we have this fast flyer that splits these helicopters, right? And there's no sign of propulsion. There are no wings, no, who knows how it's moving, let alone that fast. But then there is something prosaic, and it's a bird, and you can see the difference. And not only is there a bird, there's two. There's one way off in the distance there, still looking like a bird and flapping its wings, and then one in the foreground that swoops in, flapping its wings. Both of them look like birds because they're both birds. Yeah, but then you contrast those birds and that motion, that speed, with this fast flyer, and you're clearly not talking about the same thing. And again, there's a screenshot, no sign of propulsion. How is that thing moving? And if it's in the foreground, we know what bugs in the foreground looks like because we went over it already today. That's what they look like. And that thing does not look like this at all. Here's another one. It's going to take a minute to get through, but look, okay, there's a lot going on. There's a fast flyer in the foreground. There's two crossing each other, like in the mid-distance, another one in the mid-distance, and then this is all of that slowed. And so what? That's all of like a second and a half, maybe, I don't know, 2 seconds. And again, there's more of these crossing ones that, like I said, I never get tired of them because they're cool and equally inexplicable. But so there's four, one big one, two crossers, and then the one coming down. But on top of that, at the helicopter, you zoom in closer, and there's one that zooms across the top of that helicopter. And you can see when it is, because that's when that big initial one flies by, and then you look up the helicopter and you see it going over the top of it. And then there's this again. You're like, oh, well, that's not the same one. It happened a second time, because this is when it happened. After those two cross each other, then the other one comes down from the top, and then you look above it again, and then from right to left, this other fast flyer comes across and buzzes the helicopter. And then as if enough wasn't happening, while that's all going down, there's another one that's coming in and going into the tower from the top. So this is all in like a second and a half, and there's everything happening in this thing. And it's because we have power lines, we have a helicopter, and on top of it, the helicopter is SoCal Edison. It's like, what is the power company doing other than observing all of this craziness? So this footage was featured in the last video, and I got a lot of feedback saying like you focused on that Notcloud and not the other fast flyer thing. So okay, so look, these things cross each other, and neither of them have a sign of propulsion. Neither of them look at all familiar in terms of prosaic everyday life. Well, I mean, unless you know, around your neighborhood, there's always fake clouds going Mach 3 up in the sky. Yeah, but anyway, so there's the fast flyer on the right and the Notcloud on the left, and from a distance, this is what they look like. They meet up in the middle, basically. And this is slowed, so you can actually see it. And, you know, fine, I'm guilty of focusing on this Notcloud, but whatever. This is crazy. And you can see inside this thing. There's like a nucleus. There's something in the inside of it. Look at that. And the reason I know there's something inside of it is because this isn't the first footage we've seen where it's like that. So watch this. First, focus on this cloud on the top right, and it'll disappear. This is a 10-second clip, and it's not slowed or speeded up or anything. There's a blurring that happens, and then the cloud on the top right just ghosts, just gone. In this version here, we did speed up, just so you could see how it disappears compared to the others. And this is a close-up of that same one disappearing in regular real time. And there's a blurring and a blinking out of some sort, and then this cloud is there, and then all of a sudden it's just not there anymore. But while it's not there anymore, the other cloud changed. And this is the one down toward the bottom in the middle. This cloud, as the other one's going away, this cloud like gains something. And you'll see what I mean when I say gain something. It goes from being kind of like whatever to all of a sudden there's something in it. And that's what is in it. It's a shape, it's a form, and it's just like that Notcloud had something in it right here. And that's why I was like, I recognize this. We have footage of this from before, and this is that footage. And really, the only difference between the two is that we happen to catch one kind of manifesting and coming into being or into form and just showing up like that out of nowhere. And the other one happened to be moving, and we caught that one too. So there you go.
All right, folks, there you have it. We hope you enjoyed this presentation. We enjoyed putting it together for you. And as always, it leaves us with more questions than answers. You know, the performance and the visual appearance of these things leaves us just wondering, you know, how much is there that we don't know? Really, it's eye-opening in that way, at least for us. And the other thing I wanted to mention, and I'm not sure that I had mentioned this before, but if anybody wants to see the original videos that we are using, just email us, latchyhustle@gmail.com. Just email us and ask us or describe it, and we'll email it to you. We're more than willing to share. None of them have been edited or anything crazy. And yeah, I mean, we'd love to open source this whole thing, and you know, hopefully it promotes some dialogue and So if you want to see the originals, let us know. We'll get it to you. Otherwise, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.